The Christian act of breaking bread, or as we might know it, the Lord's Supper, Holy Communion, Eucharist, has many different themes woven into it. Today we're going to be thinking about the theme of remembrance, the act of remembering Jesus' Last Supper on earth with his disciples on the night before he is crucified. We are of course remembering what we now call Maundy Thursday, and Maundy comes from the Latin mundantum, which means do in remembrance. It's a command, and we are commanded as Christians to do communion in remembrance of Jesus. The early church also followed this act, and I'm reading to you from 1 Corinthians 11. For I have received from the Lord what has also passed on to you. The Lord Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, "This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, after supper, he took the cup, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this, whenever you drink it, in remembrance of me. For whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes." I'm sure that for many of you those words will sound familiar, and they should, because almost word for word they appear in many of our communion liturgies as we hold the bread and the wine and before we share it, to remind us of that Last Supper. So communion, or breaking bread, is an act of remembrance, remembering what Jesus did. But it also should prompt us to remember all the things Jesus taught us, to remember that he became the servant of the servants, not the king, that he was humble, a teacher, a healer, that he sought the lost, healed the brokenhearted, and loved everyone for whoever they are. So yes, when we share in bread and wine, we are remembering the Last Supper, but we're also remembering who Jesus calls us to be.